hardest things in the world to do for a lot of people is to walk in front of a bunch of strangers that have no idea who you are, what you're about, and bring them into your world. Comedy is not easy, trust me.
What comes to my mind immediately is doing the show on the ship, when the ship is rocky, which I'm sure you've experienced over the last couple of weeks. We were doing Jersey Boys a cruise ago, and it was so rocky that the furniture in one of the scenes was literally moving back and forth across the stage, and it was a serious breakup scene. And so we're trying to have this serious moment, and literally the audience is laughing as they're watching her bed go completely off the stage. So I would say keeping your cool during challenging moments like that can be interesting.
And for me, it was my dream to travel the world like a rock star, and I love to travel, and that's one of the best things that we get to do, see all of these amazing places. But I've discovered that airline travel is not as glamorous as I once thought it would be, right? So I say that the traveling and the work we do on the ship isn't what they pay us for, it's the getting to and from the ship, schlepping our luggage and waiting in line and going through security and all of that. So if that's the worst part of what I do, I still live a pretty good life, but to me that's one of the things. You understand if you travel for a living, if you travel for work, yeah, you get it.
And I guess also to go back to your question about making it look easy, I mean, in terms of what we do, we put in a lot of hours of rehearsal, so I mean, like it's, you know, every day it's many hours of doing the same thing over and over again until you can perfect it, and you can perfect it to a point where you can do it so many times without it being an effort. And, you know, it's still difficult to a degree, but when you do something enough, it sort of gets into your body and it becomes second nature. So that's the making it look easy part, I guess.
Absolutely. And to piggyback off of that, for Uptown, not sweating to the point where we drench the stage, you know, slipping on that. So just breathing, for sure.
I actually want to jump on that a little bit too, talking about comedy, because what you do is right. It's one of those things that it's like, you know, you throw out the knock-knock joke, or multiple times too, and I know what happens is people will come to you and say, hey, I've got material for you to use perpetually. As an actual comedian, how was that? And then how is it to be on stage knowing that some of your material can consistently hit, and then you have a show one time where it's flatlining, you're not getting anything. You're on the stage, you've got to perform. They're expecting you to make you laugh. How do you manage that from show to show?
It's, the thing for me is, what I talk about, there's nothing I told any of you about my life that wasn't true. Absolutely everything I said was the truth. The thing about it is twisting a little bit and then making it so it's funny for you. What's funny to one person may not be funny to another, and I'll give you a perfect example of a guy who actually takes nothing and turns it into something and manages to get everyone to do it. How many people enjoy Frank Townsend? If you pay close attention to what Frank does, and I've been watching guys like him, Dylan does the same thing. They go out, and what the idea is, you take something that you've seen, whether it's the scooters, whether it's people on the elevators, whether it's just you walking off the gangplank, and they take it and expand it enough to where you can relate to it. And because we say things you can relate to, that's what you find so funny. However, we've learned that from ship to ship, we tend to write a lot and improvise, because a lot of times it might not work for this group the way it'll work for the next group. Their cruise with the next group of people, I'll be on the airport with the rest of you guys, but the cruise with the next group coming in will be nothing like you were. Each show with comedy is completely different. That's the best way I can put it.
All right, thank you very much for that. We do have a question on our far left, and then we'll take our gentleman by the piano.
The Q&A section for the cast of the wonderful Norwegian Bliss that come with us. Amazing Romance Travel. When we do everything, take you all around the world and learn all about what goes on behind the scenes. Enjoy.